everyone, a nice short video for you today, DIY on how I made a couple of adjustments to my Rogue landmine. So if you're a proud owner of a Rogue monster line rack and you purchase their landmine attachment, you get these nice rubber donuts and plastic and stuff to protect your rack from your landmine as it rotates. That way you don't end up with peeling off in your powder coat. If you are a member of the Infinity line, you do not get that extra piece. So I've moved my landmine a couple of times, different sides, different positions, just testing out different things. And every time I do so, I realize that I've worn a nice cylindrical portion of the powder coat off of my rack. After about the third or fourth time, I kind of got frustrated having to clean that up. So I decided to kind of mirror the monster line the best I could. So a couple of things I have here. Go ahead and take this apart. So this is the kit that comes with the regular landmine here. And so what you'll see, this certainly isn't a perfect solution, but I've got the bar, I've got a little rubber donut guy here. So this is one that I had bought at Home Depot. I took this in and found one that would fit nice and clean. You want more or less the thinnest one you can find. So that's going to slide in here. So now I've got a nice cushion between the bolt and the rack. I then have this rubber guy, which is basically stuck on at this point. So this guy, if I had two of these, that would probably work, but I only had one. So I just grabbed one of these. Again, I basically just made do with what I had. You want, again, the thinnest rubber you can possibly find, but that'll go on here and fit up against the rack. Landmine will go on. So now I've got rubber in between the two metal pieces. That way we don't have any metal on metal contact. I then had one very thin metal washer that I used just to buy myself a little bit here. If you had another very thin rubber one, that would work as well. But then you just tighten it on. And I keep mine just a hair loose. So hand tightening is probably just good enough. And now we're good. So we no longer have this metal on metal contact. It should protect your rack, it should protect your landmine from rubbing and losing its powder coat. And the last piece I have here, let's see if we can see it on camera, prop it up just a bit, is this guy right here. So much like if you've seen the video of my DIY cable crossover setup, I have some tow rope that I fed through. So I had the two ends here, wrapped it down with electrical tape all the way around, fed it through, so then that way the kind of the end piece is inside, and I use this to hold my landmine in place. Just slips on right there. I did that because I was constantly kind of having to watch where I was stepping so I didn't trip over this. If it's just here and you're using your rack, it's going to fall or whatever. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy because obviously the landmine's not that heavy. It's not got a whole lot of force pulling on it. Just enough to keep it in place to be out of the way. You do lose a little bit of functionality from the couple of holes here on the rack, but worst case scenario is if I need to use those, I just move it out of the way and I'm good. So I only lose one actual hole. It's not that big of a deal. If I need to go up one or down one, we're good. So those are the edits I've made to my landmine over the years to make it a little more user-friendly and a little more aesthetically pleasing. So yeah, any questions as always, let me know. Cool.